What's going on? I thought I was gonna come in. Welcome to the Taking Saturn podcast. Coming at you from the 22150 Naughty Springs, Springfield, aka Springfield.
That's right.
We got D here, Danny Haddad,
That's right.
guitar player for the Taking Saturn band. You guys might know me as D Had, aka D,
Storm.
aka D Hizzle, aka Storm, aka I know I'm pathetic. And we're here with D.
That's right.
I'm pathetic and I know it.
Well, you know, I don't have as many nicknames as you do, but I guess no, I got D. I get D Hizzle from Boo. No, you tell me that.
Actually from Boo,
Boo.
he calls you either D or Diego.
He does.
And Diego stems from my son, who calls you Diego. Because when he saw you back when he was like 3, he used to call you Diego because that motherfucker from Dora.
It was so funny because we were like, don't
Like, go
correct
Diego,
him.
go
You're like,
Diego.
Don't correct him. Just let him call you Diego.
Yeah, Diego was like, dude. Boo was like, bro, let him just keep doing it.
It's just like, and he was like, hey, Diego.
Diego. He's like, you want to go hang out with Diego? Like,
I remember that.
I guess we let that ride for Boo. For Boo's sake. For his own comedic value.
Indeed, and yeah, I'm definitely Diego. Yeah, but I don't have a name like Storm.
You know, we got Boo.
I got Boo.
He's not here, but we got nicknames for Boo. Busani.
Booski.
Actually, it's funny because Busan's actually, that's his real name.
It
On,
is.
on the it's like Busani. Like, wait a minute, that's actually not Nick's name because that's his name.
Yeah.
But we got Boo.
Mm-hmm.
I call him Boostard sometimes. Booster Bass. Abubakar.
Yeah, Booski.
Booski.
Boo Radley.
Boo Radley.
I call him Boo
That's
Radley.
That's true. It's true.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about introducing a new one. It's called Botard.
Night. What? I don't know if I agree with that.
Because all day he's always talking about Donald Trump and Dotard.
Oh, Dotard. I get you.
So I'm gonna hit Boo.
Bootard.
I'm gonna hit Bo. I'm gonna hit Boo with the
I
Botard.
get you. There's a couple other ones too. Man, he's got a couple good. And then, you know, after all these 10 years, we've called each other different things that are
Yep.
good and bad.
Uh-huh.
All right, so this episode is all about Michael.
You talking about Michael Myers Halloween?
That's right. No, we're not talking about Michael. Like,
That's Jason, fuckbag.
oh yeah, I messed that.
Jeez.
All right, no, this is not Michael Myers. This is the one and only Mike. You know, the Moonwalker, the Smooth Criminal, the Speed Demon, which is a phenomenal song, by the way.
Y'all might know him as Mikey,
Mikey, MJ.
the Moonwalker.
That's right. He turns into a robot in the movie.
Turns into a lot of shit in the movie. Turns into like a mech warrior.
He does. It's phenomenal.
Turns into a fucking car.
He turned into a ship and he flew away. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yep. Hey, he had to beat the bad guy. It was important. You know. I don't like how the dog... Okay, well, no, before we get into this is about an artist that you and I love and have been influenced by. And it's the segment that I wanted to get started with, which is all about Michael, part 1. Michael Jackson.
That's right.
Mr. J.
Massive impact on our lives.
Indeed.
Probably, most musicians' lives.
Yeah. So, tell me, what is your first Michael memory?
So 2 to 3 of them is when I was like younger, probably like 4, 5, 6 years old. I would say probably in the earlier years when I would like get together in like my family gatherings, they'd always make me bust out like dancing because I just used to, I would just break out for like whatever reason, you know what I mean? And so they'd always pop on like Michael Jackson because my dad knew that if like they popped on some kind of Michael Jackson, I'd fucking dance. So I remember that, and then, like as far as like the music, I remember my dad used to always be like recording tapes and shit when we were like growing up, like dubbing tapes or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? So I used to always hear like, he used to record the Michael Jackson one. I mean, shit, I think I'm basically just narking on my dad for pirating, but and didn't just realize like, shit, cut that, bro. Nah.
We're gonna edit that. Don't worry.
So no, I'm just whatever. I mean, I'm sure there's got to be a fucking. I don't even know if he owned this shit. Maybe he was borrowing it from his boy. Who knows? But anyway, so my dad. That's what he used to do. So, but and I remember another time I tried. You know how you used to like record Michael Jackson off of the like radio or just record music in general off the radio.
Yeah, I used
so
to
like
record tapes like right directly from the radio.
Yeah. So like what I did. Was that illegal? Was that pirating?
Probably.
So anyway, so I don't know why I'm getting all lawyer like right now, but but anyway, so I remember I took a tape one time and I took off like it wasn't even a Michael Jackson tape. I just took off the tape, like the title of the tape, and then I fucking put on a new one, like a blank one, and I wrote Michael Jackson on it. I asked my dad how to spell that shit, and then I wrote it on there. And I tried to like put it in, and it was like, it was like an Arabic tape or some shit my dad had. So I put it in, and it was just like still playing Arabic music. And I was like, damn, what's going on here? Why isn't this like working?
That's like, what is this Smooth Criminal?
Yeah. So, but those are pretty much like my memories as far as like the family and how like the first like real connection that I can make to like the first like Michael Jackson. I mean, as I got older, obviously I got like more and more into it and appreciated it more. I mean every child grew up listening to Michael Jackson for the most part, at least at our age.
Yeah, if you're an 80s kid to some degree.
Yeah, to some degree.
He was involved in your life in some way.
Right.
His music, totally.
So I was 85, so I was born after the Thriller, but I still kind of, I still knew about Thriller, obviously.
What was your first album?
Honestly, because I was born in 85, I was probably put on to Smooth Criminal first, like the Bad album.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I even remember it. My dad had the Bad tape, dude. With the fucking his old dude. I have a crazy ass story about Michael Jackson. I remember one time I used to have an actual signed autograph photo of Michael Jackson, dude.
What?
And yeah,
really?
Yeah, for real. Like my dad he has a store over on 16 and B Street. It was a deli. It was Fairfax Deli Carryout, and it was down the street from the Hilton, and like. All these guys came in one night, late at night, bought mad food for my dad. And then they came back in the next night. And my dad's like, what's going on? Like, you're coming in so late, you buy so much, And the guy was like, yeah, like, Eventually my dad, I guess, got to the talking with the dude. And, I don't know. I think that the dude said that, like, I don't know. Somehow, some way, my dad found out it was Michael Jackson's like crew. All right, Michael Jackson's crew was coming there to get the food. His bodyguards or his peeps. They would roll in with like maybe they said like 10 peeps,
Right.
And then they would take like mad sandwiches, like, you know, more than 25, 30 sandwiches, pizzas, fries, like everything, like the whole nine. So my dad gets to talking with the dude. He finds out that it's Micheal Jackson. My dad's like, "Yeah, it's my son. He loves Micheal Jackson." So like the guy brings a thing, and at the time, you know, my dad told him
a headshot or something.
Yeah, he brings him like one of the actual like it's like a photo, like the dude provided it. It's not like my dad gave it to him. It's like one that like Micheal Jackson probably has. Like, here, sign it and give it to him. You know what I mean? So like he probably did that shit, and then you know, because it says like to Mike. From Micheal Jackson.
Wow.
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, it was fucking nuts.
That's awesome.
Yup.
Do you still have that?
I don't.
Somewhere? No.
I don't have it, dude.
Right. That's amazing, though.
I know. I feel so bad I don't have it anymore. And I lost it. I lost it for my family. I was the one responsible. I told my family at, like, my brother and my dad were talking about it. And they're like, man, I don't know what that shit is. My dad's like, man, every time I used to come in the house, I used to look for it. Like, because, you know, when my brother had time and whatnot, I had to give in. I told him one time when we were eating dinner, I was like, yeah, guys. I was like, yeah, man, I lost that shit. I took it to a show and tell at high school, and it fucking got lost.
Yeah. Well, you know. At least you have the memory that it happened, because that's still awesome.
It's still awesome, but I feel like such a dipshit.
Yeah, it happens.
But right now, think about it. What would happen between me and my brother and my dad if one of us had it?
Right.
I couldn't put it on display because I know my brother would try to come here and get that shit.
Right, that's the Micheal Jackson.
And he'd be like, dude, it's not even for you. It says to Mike. And I'd be like, damn.
Yeah, that's a hard sell.
He's right. Because my brother's name is Mike.
Right.
My dad got it for him.
To Mike from Mike. Yeah, that's awesome. That's a very cool story.
Crazy.
That's amazing.
Yeah, dude. I had a lot of crazy stories from my dad's joint, man. You know, just from fights to like I saw like transgender gay movement, like all that stuff since I was young, man. Because like my dad's bar is located between one of like pretty much the two most popular like gay bars, at least through like the 80s and 90s. So literally it was like Mr. P's, the liquor store, my dad's joint, and then like the fireplace or whatever. But a lot of shit went down on that street, boy.
I'm sure.
Wow. But anyways, though, so yeah, I mean, but that was pretty crazy. You know what I'm saying? The Micheal Jackson story is pretty crazy. You know, I didn't really know about like the young Micheal Jackson. I probably didn't even realize that the Jackson 5 was even Micheal Jackson until like later on in my life. Like, you know what I mean? I like the ABC song and like all those other songs. I didn't even realize, like, I didn't make the connection probably until I was like over 10 years old that like that was Micheal Jackson when he was like younger. You know?
Yeah.
You know, but then again, how much do we really know? It's not like we had like YouTube and like all that shit back in the day.
Right. It was just like radio or tapes. Or
right. And like, I mean, I get it. If you grew up in the American culture, like your family grew up in American culture, then maybe they could teach you a little bit about it. My dad was Arabic, you know what I mean? Like Syrian man. My mom's Lebanese. This guy's pumping Arabic music like loud as shit in his van. Even till this day, like that's what you hear. It's like, you know what I mean? Like when this guy comes down the street, that's like, that's what you hear. So like, you know, he's not educating me on like, English music, you know, per se.
Right. So you kind of had to like either hear it from your brother or you know, find it yourself with your friends.
Well, Micheal Jackson I did because that's how worldly and that's how far his reach was.
Definitely.
But like Jimi Hendrix or like anything American. Like I remember one time I was playing Guitar Band or what's that shit called? Guitar Hero. And I was like playing that song. It's like Barracuda. It's like ding 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 ding.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, "Oh, I know this song. It's a Barracuda." And I was like, "What? Holy shit! How'd you know this?" He was like, "Oh, I know this. This is the song I listen when I first come to like America." And I was just like, This guy cracks me up, dude. Some of the shit that comes out of his mouth cracks me up. Like, it boggles my mind. This dude told me that when he first came here to America, that him and his brother, like, whenever they saved up their car... Actually, it's funny. We were, like... I was trying to, like, do something with his iTunes password or I don't know, some shit. And I don't know why, but he picked this as his security question. Like, what was your first car? And so... I forgot what the car was that he told me, but it was like some shit that they don't make anymore. Like the company's out of band.
Like a Daihatsu or something.
No, it's not. It wasn't a... No, it was something else. It started with like an S. It was like a Shin... I don't know what it was, dude. Okay. It was like some shit. I never heard of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, for real? That's the car? It was like some like shit like Shentu or some shit like that. It was like, what? He's like, yeah. But then he was like telling me how he had a Mustang at one point in his life. And I'm like, what? Like,
that's awesome.
Him and his brother had a Mustang together. And he told me that they didn't know that they had to change the oil in the car. So they burned up the oil in the engine.
So they locked the engine.
They locked the engine.
That's
dude.
Terrible.
Right?
That's an... poor car.
It was the Mustang, the one... I don't know what year it was because I don't know shit about cars like that. But, like, you know, minor shit. But, like, it was the one where, like, the shift was, like, the fucking... It was, like, a bar. And they only had, like a couple years like that. And it was in the middle console like this. Yeah, it wasn't a stick shift. My dad's always been fucking automatic driver. I don't think he's ever been able to drive stick shift in his life.
And so they never changed the oil.
Yep. Just like that. But anyways, that was my Micheal Jackson story. So we veered off into a Mike Haddad story, old Mike Haddad Sr. story. But
that's awesome. All right, cool. So then, okay, now I remember when we first met, and the first thing you came in, excuse me, to talk about, to play was the Micheal Jackson "Beat It" solo. So when did you start learning that?
I started working at my job, and this dude was like, "Hey, man, like I got this." So look, I had heard the solo a bunch of times. Obviously, I had heard the solo, right? And then I had heard "Beat It." I knew "Beat It" my whole life, right? Then one day, I actually really focused in on the solo because I didn't really focus in on like Micheal Jackson's music for like advanced guitar technique type. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But what you don't know, maybe some people don't know this, but Eddie Van Halen is the one who did the solo for Micheal Jackson. And that story alone is crazy because it talks about how when he went in there, he had 2 takes. He did it in 2 takes. On the first take, he set the monitors on fire. And then they had to put them out. But he did 2 takes. He did one way and one another way, and they just rolled with the one. Like, and if you listen to the solo, it's like, holy shit, that's a pretty fucking wicked solo.
Yeah, it is.
So I didn't really pay attention to the solo, but I remember like post high school, you know, I was chilling, smoking, and the song came on, and I was like, damn, I didn't realize how fucking badass this solo is, you know? So I was like, so shit. I heard it a bunch of times, but even then I was never like, I need to learn this thing. Then when I was at work one time in this IT company I was working at, this dude next to me in the cubicle was like, he played guitar too. And he's like he doesn't write anything original. He's only cover music guy. And he doesn't play in bands. He just literally learns cover songs just to fucking entertain himself. But he's nonetheless though, he's a great guitar player. So he put me on to like this I don't know, it was kind of like a breakdown video of the Van Halen solo or something like that. And I was like, shit, why not? You know? So I went through it and it was like, damn. I feel like the video that I learned is good, but then going back through it and me trying to like polish it with my own flavoring sounds more closer than like.
You trying to play exactly note for note?
No. When I'm trying to play it note for note from the video, I don't know. Maybe it's because the guy's dumbing the video down, so he's trying to make it easier.
Okay.
You know, so it's like you're in the ballpark, I guess. But anyway, so I mean, I would say like I learned it the way that was on that video the first way, but then I started to realize when I started playing it with the song, it was just like I don't know if this really fits.
Right.
So now I kind of like just kind of do it my own kind of way, but
I hear you.
but either way, that's so like I remember when you know I don't want like that's one of the things that I said like yeah because you were like what do you play and I was like well I just kind of most recently learned the Beat It solo.
Yeah.
Like I could play that, but I mean I also love like Chili Peppers and shit like that and Nirvana and you know what I mean.
And then you started playing it.
Like I heard Slash play the Van Halen's. I mean I heard Slash play the Beat It solo and I got to be honest with you, I was not thoroughly impressed. Like I feel like I might be able to do a better job. I don't know.
Why? Because it was sloppy, or it was...
I don't know. Because like it's just you know, like all right, you know, sometimes the Slash plays you can't tell if it's like this motherfucker's just improvising or if he's like literally like planning out what he's playing, and I don't have a problem with that, but you know what I mean. But certain things, it's like, you know, if you're going improv, like the times just like some of the times I've heard him play the solo, I'm just kind of like, I don't know.
Right.
But then you listen to the composition of like Guns N' Roses songs, and you're just like, damn, dude, some of these like the compositions on his solos, like Don't You Cry, Sweet Child of Mine. I mean, dude, there's so many guys. There's so many fucking solos. We don't even need to go through it. Exactly. Right. November Rain. It's just like. You know, the composition behind them are just like monster. Like wow, like
totally.
Like this shit is like almost. I almost feel like at least on the guitar composure, that it's almost like Mozart, Beethoven level like type shit. Like I kind of like I know it sounds kind of weird to say
it's
that,
very
but
conductor.
Yeah,
very conductive in terms of music. It is incredibly. Intricate, complex, like classical music would be. Like
every note is exactly where it needs to be.
Right.
It's like perfect. Yeah. The solo, the harmonizing of the solo, and the story that it tells is so good. If this guy really, literally wrote all that shit, then I understand why Slash is where he's at. He is a monster. You know what I mean?
He's definitely a monster at guitar.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, you can't deny that.
But it's like sometimes I feel like because he's got that monster status, sometimes he uses the clout to kind of cover up the beast. Or like the under like.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
I do.
He always tears it up when the guy picks up the guitar. I'm just saying though, like I've seen him kind of like sometimes not impressed.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas like, well then again, I mean, well that's not true because every time I see Steve Vai touch the guitar or someone like that, you're just like, damn, I don't even want to play guitar after this guy.
Well, you know, because every time Buckethead picks up the guitar, he destroys it.
Yeah, he destroys it exactly. Like if you like, exactly, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, so back to Michael. All right, and so then you learn Beat It. And then, so how often do you listen to Michael now?
Well, I mean, as of today, I don't listen to him. I probably haven't listened to any Michael Jackson songs in quite some time. But, you know, I was like, I'm kind of a hardcore fan though. Like, you know, I got all of the 25 re-released, the 25 anniversary re-release editions of all of the albums.
Yeah.
You know, my kids, you know, listen to Michael Jackson. Lucas is like knows the whole catalog. You know, this guy knows more shit than I know, to be honest with you, when it comes to Michael Jackson, because he knows, because he knows so much early Jackson 5 stuff.
Ask, yeah. What about the early? Let's start early.
Like, one of his favorite songs, so funny to me, was one of them was Ben. And then the other one was, God, it's so, what's the other one? But 2 songs, and I'm just like, what? A friend like that.
Oh, what a phenomenal song! When
I mean,
was
it's
a
a
kid, I love that song.
It's a good song.
It is.
I know. I just surprised my son would say that's his one of his favorite Michael
Sure.
Jackson songs.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's a lot of like if I'd say, of course, when I heard ABC, when I heard all those awesome Who's Loving You, Jackson 5, it was like honey to my ears. Like it was just perfect. The harmonies, the band, like, and then I would see them on TV, and then watching, of course, the Moonwalker movie, and any little clips from. Oh, it's just unreal. Jackson 5 to me was like a big part of my childhood.
Hell yeah, dude. Did you ever have a Pepsi card?
I didn't. I had a Jackson 5 lunchbox though.
So did you remember the Pepsi card?
Pepsi card.
You could do this thing like the Pepsi Coke challenge or some shit, and you had, if you could guess which one was Coke and which one was Pepsi, or if you could at least just guess which one was Pepsi, then they would give you this little card. And you know how Michael Jackson was like,
he was huge back then.
yeah,
Okay.
and he was working with Pepsi.
Oh, of course.
When they released Moonwalker, the game in the arcade, it had a little slide that you could slide the fucking Pepsi card in and play for free, bro.
That's awesome.
Right?
That is so cool.
Play Moonwalker for free, dude.
That is so cool. All right. No, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, bro.
No, I was that.
Did you ever play Moonwalker in the arcade?
Absolutely. It was so awesome. I used to.
Dude, this shit was the shit, dude.
It was so
There's like
cool.
the 4 different colors
It
of
was-
Michael Jackson.
It was not easy either. It was not easy.
Man.
Yeah, it was very cool. I remember I was playing it for the Sega Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
It was Michael, and then you would have to remember you could attack people by doing the
The
he
little
does-
the little fucking snap.
yeah. And then when he did the moonwalk, and
And then remember when you do the special move, like he'd be like, ah!
yeah,
like that, and then fucking he'd be like,
it would like kill everybody.
it would
around.
shoot like little like fucking beams of light down and shit.
Yep. Phenomenal game. And then you would actually turn into again the cyborg
Mm-hmm.
robot, and then you would shoot all the lasers out of your eyes. It was phenomenal. I played that a lot.
Man,
Yeah. So, all right.
poor Mikey.
I miss Mike. I mean, I could talk about Mike all day. Like this is one of my absolute favorite subjects, and my obsession with Michael started a different way. Well, I guess I'll tell you my rundown so we can get the first part of this, of our intro for both is. My mom had tapes, and she had huge tapes that she would collect for our barbecues, and my mom loved music, so one of her tapes was Off the Wall, and she had Off the Wall and she had Bad, and so I heard Off the Wall, and she would play it, and I was like, what is this? And she was like,
Yo, how underrated is Off the Wall?
totally.
Like, because Thriller and Bad outshine it so much that people don't even know about Off the Wall.
I know.
Like. I didn't even know about Off the Wall until fucking Lucas put me onto that shit.
Really?
I mean, like, for real.
I understand. Yeah. Like that was my first taste of it. And then my grandma had the record.
Boom, 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 boom.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, it's so good. And yeah, actually my very first memories, I stood in South America. I'd walk up to my grandma's record player, and there was the Beatles, and it was Off the Wall, and I would put on Michael Jackson's Off the Wall on the record. I was a little kid, and I would just play the record, and it would play through those old wooden speakers, man, and it was like gold. It was amazing. I would just sit there and just listen by myself, just listen to Off the Wall. Fast forward, my mom listened to Bad, and then when I heard Bad, that would that was just like I was completely obsessed with Michael at that point. And then I saw the Michael Jackson Thriller, and it scared the crap out of me. because I was a kid, but I loved it because it was still him. And at the end, he turned around and his eyes were yellow. It was awesome. But
You sounded like my 4-year-old, bro. But
that's pretty much how it, my childhood,
When I go back though and I think about Bad, I kind of like think of like that's when Micheal Jackson, that shit was like cheese. Like he cheesed out.
You think so? I think
kind
it was just
of
a different part of where he was going.
But it got too
like he got so big that it became what, almost like plasticky maybe.
Yeah.
Like I get it.
You see what I'm saying?
He was too almost polished.
Yeah, it just you know what I'm saying? Like he had to keep going in that direction. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like he had to keep going in that direction because like when you go back and then you listen to like what's it called? What's the album that came out after that shit again? Dangerous?
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You hear a more like I feel like there's kind of like a little bit more of a naturalness to the. It goes back to a little bit more of a naturalness to the music. I feel like
it's not so like the craze when Bad was big, and it was like you're saying it was a little more mellower, a little more dumbed down.
Like, all right, if you go and I think if you look at the 25th anniversary release, there's songs like there's a song on there. It's called Al Capone, which is like badass. Actually, I'll let you listen to it.
Yeah.
But the beat is basically Smooth Criminal. It's like dum 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 dum, and he's like
yes.
Like it's almost as if it could have been a bridge to Smooth Criminal.
Right.
And it's like too bad. You know, and all they did was like they just basically created a new chorus. It's like almost like a B version of Smooth Criminal.
Right.
And then they were like, well, you know what? This song sounds like Smooth Criminal, so we're just going to roll with Smooth Criminal because it's tighter. Probably. You know what I mean? But, I mean, the Al Capone song is tight.
Yeah.
But it's so funny because it's like Smooth Criminal and then Al Capone. They're both kind of have this like 1930s kind of swing to them a little bit. Or not swing, but like you could tell that that's like the vibe that they're going for, especially like in the video with the fucking...
With the hat. Well, of course.
It's the white suit. And yeah, you know what I'm saying.
And they got the old 50s crooner, 40s era.
Yeah, I'm about to listen to that shit actually when we get off
the
podcast. If you don't know about Al Capone, son from Micheal Jackson, you better listen to that joint.
That's yeah.
But look, if you want to hear an awesome song from the Jackson 5 that my son put me onto, which I didn't know about. And that's crazy, right? My like fucking... At this time, he was like 5 years old. It's called Life of the Party, Jackson 5. I mean, I'm sure you guys probably know it, so it's not like it's crazy. But if you don't know it, this song is the shit.
Okay,
it's really good.
I have to hear it. All right.
You've heard it?
I'm sure I've heard it.
I played it for you.
Yeah. Yeah. We've gone through some old Jackson 5.
Yeah. Well, anywho.
Yeah.
That shit is...
I wish you could play it now.
Yo, that shit is 100, yo.
Yeah. I think we would play it if next time we're going to do...
You should just put a little snippet in the jump.
I could do that. And
be like, and this is what it sounds like.
It'll be like the royalty-free version, you know?
Oh, why? I mean, but if we're saying it's the song...
Yeah, and I think we can play like a certain...
We ain't selling these podcasts. Who's buying this shit?
No, right. No, but I think we can also do like less than 10-second clips. Like it's up to a certain point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There you go.
If we're pumping the whole song, then we're going to get a letter from Michael's lawyers. You know?
Not good. Because that's not someone's legal team I'm trying to fuck with.
That's not anything I want to mess with either. Okay.
It's like, yo, you might do life.
Like, sorry, guys.
You want to do life
No.
in prison?
Like, take that Thriller song off your podcast right now.
So,
but now, I think I can do 10-second clips next time.
Okay. Well. Anyway, you guys try it out. Listen to it. YouTube it. YouTuber it. And you'll like it.